4, Wednesday, May 13th. Call the meeting to order. And we will start with the roll call. So Kenny Burke here.
Joan Defoe.
Emily Brennan.
John Rose.
Sharon Henderson. Stephanie Osborne.
Karen Black.
Carol Stedman.
Tony Arnold.
Tiger Patrick.
Russ Deotta.
Mark Phillips.
Karen Desmond.
John Desmond.
Luke Murray.
Terry Murphy. And just for the record, Emily is our new marketing and community events coordinator. So we're happy to have her.
So, we all have a question
And with the question. And before the meeting, and after that. After that. Okay, thank you for that. So next order is item number 2, approval of the minutes from April 15th. Everybody get a chance to look at the minutes? Does anybody have any comments, or would anybody like to make a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, any other discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, passes unanimously, thank you. Chair's report, I want to thank Mark Phillips for stepping in for me. I threw it back out, and you very adequately and magnificently stepped in, and I hear you had the fastest meeting for this overall committee, so I commend you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for the government, I'm here to help.
Oh, yeah. The other bits and pieces, we held a speaker series event, so I want to thank John and Karen. Last speaker series event at the high school. We're segueing over into the contemporary theater. Aside from that, I don't have any time to report as the chair, so if that's okay, I will move on to item 4, discussion. So work groups, and I kind of primed the pump for you, John. Speaker series, you want to recap?
The speaker series, we had Michelle Leonard last night at Kingston High School, and she talked on Gilbert Stuart, his biography as well as his development as a painter. She focused quite a bit on George Washington, but there were several paintings of George Washington to discuss. And so when that event was over, she had a good Q&A session, and we were good. And I'm going to ask the chair's permission. I would like to write a small letter to the editor thanking the principal of South Kingstown High School, as I did for the 300th, but also thanking Ryan Muir, who is the head of the auditorium, the head janitor. I think he was always able to supply us well, and his assistant, and a young fella, 16 years old, who knew more about the AV in that auditorium. And this kid was very good. His first name is Winter. And so I'm going to write a small letter to the editor thanking them on behalf of the speaker series for what you did.
Nice.
Fantastic.
That's okay with you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fine with me through consensus. Does that make sense?
Great idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had anywhere from, the lowest attendance was 15 people to about 75 or 80 for our student. And how many did we actually have? 7 or 8, I think, since January.
January, February, March,
Yeah.
April, May, 5.
Great. Yeah, thank you for all that hard work and the tracks for us. I think you've segued over to Carol and Sharon for the next round of speaker series. So you guys are up to the task. You got everything squared away?
We're on task.
All right. Anything you want to share as far as the next speaker series?
John McNiff will be Roger Williams, and it'll be at the Contemporary Theater, and we're doing a Main Street style where we're putting out the sandwich board and inviting people, and we're trying to attract people that don't go to historic types of things. So I'm working with Sharon Marcus, who is the head of Main Street, and we're going to try to just have people that are licking ice cream cones see the sign and come in. We'll also advertise it, and he's going to be there at 7 o'clock on the 21st of May. I brought some pictures if you'd like to see what the setup looks like from the balcony point of view, and from this is what it's going to be like. They are going to provide the chairs. they're providing a reception area for us. He does not need any, he just is in outfit, and he will be Roger Williams, if you've ever seen, who's seen him? Has anyone seen him?
Yes?
He's fantastic, okay, so he'll be there, and I think it'll be they're very excited, Contemporary Theater's very excited, and I am excited too, so we'll see how that works out. Anything we need, they're going to provide, so we don't have to use the chairs. They're doing all this, so it's a really nice venue, and I think it's going to be very successful. And I think the Main Street group is very excited about us doing that because it's blending into their style. That's it.
That's fantastic. I think you had us all at ice cream in Berkeley. John McNiff is wonderful. He's done an amazing job all throughout the state and the region. I went to Leadership Rhode Island with him many years ago, so I think that'll be fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that.
One point is he doesn't drive,
Mhm.
and so he lives in Pawtucket, so he usually takes the train or the train. So I'm trying to get someone to pick him up and bring him home, or at least get him to a train.
I can pick him up, but I have to pick him up a little earlier, and then I can drive him to you, and then I can take
Okay.
him home
Okay.
if you want.
Okay, you got that? So if you, whatever you need, just let us know.
It's just my husband has something going on at 7:06, so, excuse me.
Excellent. Great. That's a speaker series. Memorial Day Parade is next. Mr. Patrick.
So we have some floats. We have 2 so far. I think we'll probably have 4. I don't know where we are with the 250th. At the last meeting I attended, the ball was started. You were getting the vehicle, or but there really wasn't any discussion at that meeting to what we were going to do as a committee or what we were thinking of. And so I'm totally open to whatever you guys are doing.
I wasn't at the last meeting, so I don't know if anything had organically started to develop. Is there a drop dead date as far as?
No, I'm agnostic to whenever it happens. I was thinking that we could do like a Donald Trump little thing, but in your honor as a Grand Marshal, something like that, and
Oh
have
my
it.
goodness, no.
That is literally the penultimate
That's the
idea I've
penultimate.
heard today.
Well, I like the.
That's a lot of gold leaf, though.
Yeah, I was speaking with a woman after the speaker series last night. She was just talking about remembering the bicentennial and the camaraderie and the community spirit. So I think there's still an opportunity for some creative engagement and maybe a small group of people to jump on board. I don't know what that is. I say it.
Or just as a group marching, I'm totally fine with that. We'll have 3 different categories. I think we came up yesterday for recognizing marchers, most patriotic, and I know one float and 1 antique car. We could add a category. Whatever you all wanted to do. It doesn't have to necessarily be us, but invite a group that we haven't thought of, like out of the box sort of a thing. We do have a little bit of money, right? $3,500. I saw Luke did pass for the parades.
Well, that's for the next budget year.
Right.
You had money already, I think you already claimed it for this year.
Well, Jim told me that you were kicking in some of your own personal
Oh, yeah?
funds.
It must be a raise, I'm not aware.
Well, that's in lieu of a raise. It's in your name, commemorating your work. While we're on the parade, so working with, I always forget the name, is it the Main Street group that is Rebecca
Wakefield
Cook?
Village Association.
So talked with her on August. We are doing our August 7th, Friday. We're doing a ceremony at the park, and that's when they set up for water fire. So she and I started talking because she needs the field, Saugatucket Park, to set up vendors and things for during water fire. So we were able to piggyback her. So there will be a banner going up for the Main Street group for the month of June. And then we'll have it for 2 months. So you guys still have the banner on the backside going from, say, CVS towards Shaw's, that direction. We don't need to get that order in probably till the week after, week of 4th of July, because it's like a week turnaround time to get it back and all that stuff. And I have all the supplies.
After the 4th of July? I thought you said June.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry,
Memorial
yeah.
Day?
Yeah, so June, yes, I'm sorry, June, yeah, so probably like in 2 weeks we'll need a design. I'm sorry.
Okay. Got
Can't read a calendar. Oh, my God.
it.
May I just make a point? For the parade, it's basically a week away. So if this committee is interested in doing something, even if it's representing marching, we probably should know before the end of this meeting, just, what the consensus is, because we need to have a plan.
I
So-
have a semi-authentic colonial outfit with a powdered wig I'm willing to wear.
Is that the one that you sprung on us at the skirmish or whatever?
Yeah. I'm looking at Mark here because I think.
Well, actually, I have to work with the VFW because I'm in the.
Okay. Well, so there's a spare colonial outfit that
Yes, I will.
is
want it.
about Mark's size. If anybody's willing
Yeah,
to.
so like an extra
order.
small.
'Cause I really hate to do this by myself.
I did purchase some small-ish banner 250th banners for the 4th of July, but they may be able to be mounted and like carried, or, I have to look at them, I haven't even taken them out of the package, but something that says 250, if that's something this group is interested in, but we really should.
Or they could go on the float, if there is a float, right?
Is there a float?
So I know
get the
Ron.
sense there's gonna be a float.
I know Ron has an outfit. He's in California right now, Ron Bergeron. We do have additional covers, hats.
Yep.
So if anybody-
Somebody could use mine if they want.
Yeah. So we have some clothing if anybody wants to join us. Let's just say that there's going to be folks that are walking, or if we could ride on a float, that makes sense. But yeah, I would hate to be the only one holding the banner.
No,
So
understood.
at least
Okay.
one other person. I'm looking at Russ. Anybody? Sharon?
So are we allowed to take the rest of the events and make a little venue of what the rest of the events are? And you're allowed to hand those out along the parade route or no?
Because we're the town, we could. We discourage other groups from doing that because it becomes a big mess at the end of the parade. We have a business that signed up to put a vehicle in and they want to hand out cards, and no. And we really discourage throwing candy and that type of thing. So we could do that at the Saugatucket Park at the ceremony where people gather, and then it's a little bit more controlled. And I could certainly do that. I've got to update the.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Just throw them on the ground in the dirt.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you put them in a milk carton or something and rock on them. Keep them from flying around.
Oh,
Or is there a way that on the floats, there could be a couple of really nicely done posters facing each side of the street of all the rest of the events? I don't know how big your floats are, but it's a time to capitalize on what's going on.
So I don't think this committee's going to have a float, is my understanding, and the other floats are other organizations.
Right.
Okay, okay. I'm confused.
Would be the walking tour.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. I'll be available after the meeting for a little bit. If anybody wants to join in, just let me know. If you know friends or family want to join. Yes.
I'd like to bring up this Veterans Day. So we'd be very interested in Veterans Day parade, and we're asking now.
Okay. Sure. That's all.
We'll,
Yes.
we'll probably walk on
Excellent.
Monday.
All right.
Just need a time.
It steps off at 10, so you need to be there before 10.
I'll send out that information
Yeah.
because community groups will be meeting at Old Mountain Field as opposed to Hazard.
It's House of Park.
There it is.
What's that?
It's House of Park.
Walk.
Where to go?
Yeah, but they just be behind the bowling alley, that's the street.
No, they don't meet behind the bowling alley. Not that group.
The
They're by-
parade.
They're by divisions. The parade just doesn't meet behind the bowling alley. I just want to be clear because,
So it is go up School Street?
nope, we're going to start over at Old Mountain Field. But I'll
Gotcha,
fill everybody in.
gotcha, okay.
yeah. It's just you're in a different division.
All right. Okay, moving on to overhead banners. We started talking about this. You mentioned the overhead banners, but this is also parentheses Purple Heart Trail. So is this the same?
That's the same thing. That's the one that goes over from CVS towards Belmont. There's a set of poles there that have signs that RIDOT allows us to use each year. And it's about 18 feet of signage wide on both sides. That's clear, so it works. It'll look good.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, moving on to military history recognition, the monument. Sharon, Carol,
Luke?
Luke,
Yeah,
yep.
You got it.
I'll just start with kind of a debrief on where I'm at. Been working with the group and I've had the opportunity to have several meetings with them and get a lot of the information and try to get up to speed. I will go through kind of a concept that's been generated to date. I've actually done a little bit more work on it, so even the ladies here who haven't seen the more polished project will see a little bit more progression towards the schematic design. So for those who don't know, the council has approved and endorsed the project in concept with some provisions. So there's a checklist that is proposed that we go through. And then once we're through that and we have a schematic design, we'll go back to council and get a final approval of concept because it's going on town property. And that's the agreement. So part of that checklist includes, some backup about the justification for the memorial, the why, how it ties to the 250th, the history of it, validation of that history. I will say that the group has been very forthcoming. They've given me probably a dozen documents very well describing the justification. I have no problem with that. We've checked off a lot of those boxes. Christian McBurney, is that the correct gentleman? Who's an expert in this revolutionary era, especially with regards to the 1st Regiment, has signed on to validate and is continuing to do research. And we've all in agreement that research is likely to continue beyond the monument. So that way, we're going to leave space so that if additional names need to go on, we can do that. I've asked a lot of questions about the 501c3. My understanding, you can fill in the gaps here. Remind me, the Friends
Of Providence Equity and Initiative.
So,
He's
but
a lawyer also.
No,
No.
I'm saying your friends group.
Friends of
Friends
the
of-
South Kingstown Historic Cemeteries, Monuments, and Memorials.
Right, so it's a little bit broader than just this memorial, with the intention, I think, to go beyond once this memorial is dedicated. Paperwork's been filed, you have a bank account, you're waiting for one piece of documentation from the IRS, but you can deposit funds. And I have collaborated with the group to obtain the first $8,000 of the legislative grant. So that was committed. I did talk to the State House, filled out the application. Because it was for the town, that's the way it was originally applied for, it has to go through the town. I have validated that we can disperse that money out to the nonprofit once it comes in. We'll figure that out at a later date, but essentially it'll be a simple agreement document that we're giving this purpose and you'll fulfill that purpose. They're continuing to fundraise, and my understanding is you've managed to acquire another approximately $10,000. There's also potentially another legislative grant on the horizon. Obviously, things are shaking up a little bit at the State House, so we'll see how that pans out. The group is continuing. So the way I see this from my role in the project is to guide, and I have this framework, right, and to ensure we have a successful project. This is ideally funded primarily by outside, especially the monument itself. I will say that, like the plinth that will have the names on it and the actual monument, the group's really working towards achieving that goal and funding. What you'll see tonight is a little bit more elaborate because what I brought up through the process is consistency and integration with the memorial. So meaning design-wise, the site around the memorials has to kind of feel like one unit. It can't be, kind of feel like it's out, away from the memorial, kind of separate, because it should be integrated, but distinct. And Sharon's brought this up, I think, a number of times. That given the materials don't have to necessarily be exactly the same. We don't have to do concrete. We're proposing westerly granite. But, and I agree with that, but trying to tie it in through other materials and including addressing things like accessibility, right? So ADA access is a big thing. there's a parking lot there, there's a hill there, there's things to navigate. So that's been my primary role, is validating the information that comes in, making sure it goes through that checklist, and then assisting. My background, my former life, before I went back in the municipal environment, was actually a landscape architect. So I designed multiple memorials, one of which is in the Veterans Cemetery, another one is across from the Convention Center in Providence, and LaSalle Square. So I probably have 4 or 5 out there that I've done. So I was happy to join the project and going through. So I'll pop up on the screen here, just kind of take you through where we're at. All right. So everyone's familiar with the memorial. This was obviously taken at the tail end of the blizzard, because you can still see snow on the ground. And the high school is still under construction in the back. So interestingly enough, I pulled up, I had survey documentation from the school project, because I'm on the school building committee, I'm very involved in that project. So I went back to the drawings, and that whole area was surveyed. So I had good topography and contours. There's about a 2-foot drop from the parking lot to the base of the memorial. So that's what we have to contend with. Those who don't know disability, if you don't want handrails, it's got to be 5% or less, meaning for every 1 foot of drop, you've got to go out 20 feet to get to that drop. So it's a 1 in 20. So that means for a ramp or a pathway, that, you know, ramp is really with handrails, you need 40 feet of length. So it's difficult to get 40 feet down to that monument. You know, there's not 40 feet between the parking lot and that monument. You could do handrails, and you can go up to 8%, 1 in 12. But again, that just shortens your distance a little bit. You're at 24 feet to get to that distance. So there's a couple things I played with to kind of get us there. So that was one thing I was kind of framed in for me, like a restriction, like I need to be able to get a wheelchair down here. That's the right thing to do. In addition, we're planning on repaving the parking lot as part of the high school project. That's already in the plans. It's already in the budget. So I know that we have some possibility of moving some things in the parking lot before that happens. So luckily, I'm already, you know, I talked to Gilbane weekly and already alerted on that. So without further ado, let me get to the plan. So what I did was I overlaid the aerials with the surveys with some other things.